I don't believe in Father Christmas. It's just a fairy tale. It was the day before Christmas, and Ruby and her friends, Kaycey and Shiloh, were playing out together. "I'm really excited," said Ruby. "I hope Father Christmas brings me the phone I've asked for." "Don't be silly," said Kaycey. "There's no such thing as Father Christmas. It's all a fairy story." Suddenly, a strong wind began to whirl around them. It grew stronger and stronger, and they grabbed each other's hand. They were all scared and squeezed their hands together and closed their eyes tightly. They felt that they were flying through the air in a whirlwind. Then, abruptly, the wind stopped, and everything was very quiet. They opened their eyes and looked around them. All they could see in every direction was white snow. In front of them was a large mountain. "Where are we? I'm scared," said Shiloh. At that moment an opening appeared in the mountainside, and a bright shaft of light shone outwards. They saw the outline of a figure silhouetted against the light. The figure began to walk towards them, and then they saw it clearly. Kaycey gasped in amazement. "It's an elf!" she cried. The elf moved closer and said, "Hello, I'm Eric. I'm really glad to see you. You're just in time. Father Christmas needs your help. Quickly, follow me." He took hold of Ruby's hand, and they all went through the opening into the mountain. They looked around, and what they saw was astonishing. They were in a huge cavern, and they could see lots of toys everywhere. There were toys of all types, train sets, dolls, every toy you could imagine. Winding around the cavern wall, there was a sort of track with rollers on it. The track was full of toys moving around, and they were amazed to see lots of elves at different points, picking off toys and placing them to one side. "We're at the North Pole," exclaimed Ruby. "This must be Santa's grotto." Eric asked them to follow him and took them into a room at the back of the cavern. In front of them, in a large armchair, was Father Christmas. Kaycey gasped and said, "There really is a Father Christmas." He was just as they had imagined him to be, but his right arm was in a sling. "I'm so glad that you are all here," he said. "As you can see, my arm is injured. I was very worried that I would be unable to deliver the children's presents. Christmas would not have been possible. But if you help me, we can save Christmas." "We'd love to help you, Santa," they all said. "What do we have to do?" Santa said, "Follow me and I will show you." They followed Father Christmas outside, and he said, "First, let me introduce you to my reindeers." He introduced them one by one. "These are my friends, Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donder, and Blitzen." As they were introduced, each reindeer dipped its horns and tapped a hoof on the ground. Then he showed them the sleigh which the reindeers pulled to carry him and his toys. He told them, "I will be with you on the sleigh to show you where the toys need delivering to, but I can't manage to deliver them myself. Will you deliver them for me?" They replied, "Of course we will, Santa, but how will we get down the chimney?" "I don't go down chimneys now," he said. "I have a special magic key which I use to go through any door." Ruby looked worried and asked, "But how can we possibly deliver all these toys in one night? There are so many places we need to go to." Santa laughed and replied, "You must remember that this is a magical time. For us it is speeded up many times, so that in a very short time we can cover vaster distances. You will see, we can deliver all the presents we have to with plenty of time to spare. It's almost time for us to go. Eric will give you some elf clothing to wear. They followed Eric into a room full of elf clothes and soon found something to fit them. Schuyler looked at the other two and said, "We all look really funny, but we do look like elves." They all clambered aboard the sleigh, which was loaded with sacks of Christmas presents. Father Christmas took the reins in his left hand and whistled quietly. "Away!" he called, and the sleigh began to move along the ground, then suddenly into the sky. They were flying. "We are near our first stop," Santa said. "Will one of you please find bag number 1? Kaycey picked up a bag with the number 1 on it. "I've got it, Santa," she said. "All right, I will land on the lawn. When I do, please take my magic key, go into the house, and leave the presents. Some people leave me a mince pie and a drink, but you can have them if you wish to." When the sleigh landed, Kaycey took the key and the bag and went into the house. It was just as Santa had said. There was a mince pie and a glass of lemonade. She left the presents, ate the mince pie, had a drink of lemonade, and went back to the sleigh. "Thank you," Santa said. "Now for the next stop." At each stop, one of the girls took the key and a bag of presents and delivered them. All through the night, they travelled all over the world delivering presents. Strangely enough, the pile of bags on the sleigh never seemed to get any smaller. At one stop, Ruby exclaimed, "That's my place." "Yes," Santa said. "You can deliver your presents if you wish, but no peeking." Ruby delivered her presents, and the other two also delivered their own presents to their own home. Eventually all the presents had been delivered, and morning was approaching. "Home," said Santa, and the reindeers flew swiftly back to the North Pole and landed gently in front of Santa's grotto. They all got out of the sleigh, and Father Christmas turned to them and said, "I want to thank each of you for your help. Without it, Christmas would not have been possible. Thank you for saving Christmas. Now you must change quickly. It will soon be morning, and you need to get back home for your presents." They changed quickly back into their own clothes and said goodbye to Santa and the elves. "Close your eyes and hold hands," said Santa. When they did this, they once again felt the sensation of flying. When they stopped, Ruby opened her eyes and looked around. She was in her own bed. "It was just a dream," she said. Ruby was quite disappointed, as she thought she had really met Father Christmas. Her mother called out, "Come down and open your presents, Ruby." Ruby had lots of presents and was very pleased to get the phone she had asked for. Her mum was looking at one parcel that was wrapped in Christmas paper covered in pictures of Father Christmas. "There's no card with this, Ruby, so I don't know who sent it, but there's a message written on the side. It says, 'Thank you for your help.' Have you an idea who sent this?" Ruby looked at the parcel, and she saw one of the pictures of Santa wink at her. Ruby smiled and replied, "I don't know, Mum." Of course, she did know, but she couldn't tell her mum that she'd been helping Santa. She wouldn't believe her. Would you? Merry Christmas to everybody.